For Socratic circles, we are sitting with our inner circle in the middle, our outer circle on the outside, and you're working in your group of 3, right? The outer circle, your job, you're listening quietly, you're using your index cards if you have something to say, right? And we talk together as a group before you get started. The inner circle has a conversation. You do not need to raise your hand, but you do need to take turns and be respectful of everyone's ideas and their turns. We use words like I agree and disagree and then support our answer. And remember that all students are sitting on their bottoms, speaking clearly, supporting your answers with evidence, and we're holding our books still. So they can be on your lap or they can be on the floor. When is the only time that we're picking up our books and looking through them? Kyla. If we're looking for information in our pages. Very good. Savannah?
Or if we're reading it.
Or if we're reading a section, which we're going to start in a minute. Remember that first we discussed the question as a group, and I'm looking for everyone to contribute. Lainey?
I never got an index.
You did not get an index card. Would you be able to use a piece of paper for the meantime? Thank you. Oh, thank you. I know that I had one out for you, but it may not have been gotten when we came. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to begin?
Yes.
All right, before we start reading our chapter for today, can anybody remind me what was the major thing that happened at the end of our last chapter? What was the big deal? Gunnar?
The aloots came.
The aloots came. And that's something that she had been fearing, Karana had been fearing for a while, right? The aloots came. And what was the other big thing related to that? Wyatt?
She had to get all her stuff together so that way make it look like people have left for a long time and no one's been there for the past.
Right, she went and hid in her cave. That was kind of like her backup space in case the aloots came, and she hid, throwing dust on the shelves and all that, making sure that it looked like she wasn't there. But what came with the aloots? Was it just the aloots hunters?
A girl.
There was a girl. There was a girl with them. So that was kind of interesting. Okay, can I please have everybody on chapter 21? That's page 133. I did not take Rontu with me when I left the cave that night, and I closed the opening so that he would not follow me, for if the aloots had brought their dogs, he would surely smell them out. I went quietly through the brush to the headland. Before I climbed to the top of the high rock, I could see the glow of the aloots' fire. They had camped out on the mesa and at the place and the spring they had used before. It was less than half a league from my cave. I stood for a long time watching the fires, wondering if I should move to another part of the island, perhaps to the cave where the wild dogs had lived. I was not afraid that the men would discover me, because they worked on the beach or hunted in their canoes all day. It was the girl I was afraid of. The ravine was tangled with brush, which was hard to walk through, but in the ravine grew seeds and roots. Sometimes, when she was out looking for food, she might wander by the spring and see that it was being used and find my footsteps leading to the cave. I stood on the rock until the aloots' fires died. I thought of everything I could do, of the different places I could go, and at last decided to stay in the ravine. The far end of the island had no springs, and if I moved there, I would have no place to hide the canoe, which I might need. I went back to the cave and did not leave it until the moon was full. There was a little food left. Rontu and I climbed to the headland, and when we passed the house, I saw that 3 of the whale ribs had been cut from the fence. No one was there, or else Rontu would have barked. I waited until the tide was low, which was close to dawn, and filled a basket with water and abalones. We were back in the cave before it grew light. The seawater kept the abalones fresh, but when we had to go out again, the night was too dark to find our way to the reef. I therefore had to gather roots. I could never gather many before the sun rose, so I went out every morning until the next moon came. Then I went to the reef for abalones. During all this time, I saw none of the aloots, nor did the girl come to the cave, though I found her footsteps far down the ravine where she had been digging roots. The aloots had not brought their dogs, which was fortunate, for they would have found Rontu's tracks and followed us to the cave. The days were long for Rontu and me. At first, he would pace up and down the cave and stand at the opening sniffing through the cracks. I did not let him out except when I was with him for fear he would go to the camp. So, what are Karana's choices of how to respond to the aloof girl coming to the cave? She has a couple of choices. So what do you think her choices are? And then I have a follow-up question. Talk in your groups.
I think that.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Need my center circle back. Okay, so first of all, what kind of choices did Karana have? What could she do? This aloof girl is looking right at her. So what are her choices?
She could have thrown the spear at her and killed her. But if she threw the spear at her and it killed her, she could have gotten a spear mark and they would have known that somebody was there. Yes, but if there's a spear, she could bring the dead body into the cave. She could throw it into the water. She could do different types of stuff.
But she didn't want a dead body. Like the cave that she went to, there was a body.
Okay, so we know that that Karana could have somehow injured or killed her. That would be one thing. What other things could she have? What other choices does she have?
She could have made friends with her and would have gotten one. But what if she was like let's say she lied and said that people are something like how usually people do, and she was told to leave and they came back.
Well, you could. This isn't a right thing to do, but you could keep her as a hostage or something.
Why would you keep her as a hostage?
Because what happens if the aloops find her?
Yeah, but what do you think if she went missing, then the aloops would go looking?
Yeah, I know, but they know where she is. She could actually just destroy the boats and have make friends with the girl and then they could kill all the aloops in that one.
But they're girls and they're all the other men.
Yeah, but still, girls, they're like, they can probably, she's an Indian girl. Indian girls are, like, they probably know how to sneak around, so they can take them out one by one.
But she's not Indian. Or another girl isn't Indian.
Well, so basically what you're saying is that girls aren't strong?
I'm not saying that they are, and I'm not saying that they are.
They can take them out one by one, because the girl knows where the aloots are, and she knows where their camps are, she knows where to, like, get the boats, she knows how to destroy the boats one by one.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that she could have injured or killed her. She could have kept her hostage. She could have made friends with her. She could attack the aloots. Did I miss any of those?
Another reason is what happens if Rantu saw the girl and probably Rantu.
But Rantu listens to
But Rantu, she said that Rantu was walking up behind her. Did you guys see that?
Interesting. So I want you to take just a quick, let's do 30-second, a 30-second conversation.
10 seconds.
I just want to know, why do you think that Karana chose not to throw the spear at her?
She killed the little girl.
Thank you. Okay, so in a circle, why do you think she chose not to throw the spear?
Lady, shout it!
Lady, shout it! It's because, what?
It's okay, go ahead.
Well, it's because that, like how she said she believes in, like, if something bad could happen. Well, you never know if, like, she could go against, like, since she believes in, like, something else, maybe she thinks that they'll do something back to her to ruin her life.
Yeah, but what do you also? Go ahead.
Lady, say it. Just say it.
If she didn't kill the girl might have found her tracks and then, like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
if she killed the girl.
But the point is she decided not to, right? Rana decided not to. Why do you think she made that decision?
Because she saw the girl did nothing to her.
Because Karana, she does like to become friends and the girl can get her. To take her to her people. The girl, she didn't want to be one of the murderers. The girl put her back.
No,
You're right.
Then, Lexi, I see that you have something to say and somebody may have already said it, so then what can you say?
She might have not want to be a murderer.
Yeah, so you can say, I agree, right?
I'm disagreeing with Josiah because she already knew that it wasn't his sister.
It was not her sister because her sister
Would never go with you.
I
Oh,
know.
that's an interesting one.
Oh, Miss Silly! Give it to Lainey.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Lainey, last thought.
How can you forget?
What I'd like you to do, please, we're going to continue reading. I want you to rotate.
Yay!
Look where I'm going. Dang it. Okay, inner circle, please raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, we are on the top of page 137.
Oh, wait.
137. Thank you, Parker.
Are we on a paragraph? Okay.
No, we're on that.
We're at the first full paragraph.
Okay, girl got it.
Said something.